What's up, levelers? Welcome back to another lit episode of High Level Chronicles. I'm your host, Chris, joined as always by my co-host, fellow gamer and cannabis connoisseur, Brian. What's up, bro?
What it do?
Man, I'll tell you, chilling. But I think today we have a hyper real episode today.
Yeah,
And what I mean by that, levelers, VR. We're going to talk everything VR. VR is the future, no doubt about it. But before we dive into that trippy topic, let's kick off with our signature leveled up segment. I'll actually go first this week, change it up some. I've actually been playing some FIFA 23. I grabbed the EA Play deal this week, over the last week, and picked that up. Been playing some of that and playing some Madden. Of course, always Call of Duty. I mean, that's just like, that's always going to be an answer every week.
Gotta have it in there.
The Call of Duty, the Dead by Daylight, that's always going to be my weekly things. The Overwatch, right now I'm still in that season 2. But also we finished the Netflix episode, or Netflix series Baby Reindeer. And
okay.
Dude, that show's wild. I would love to see Martha, who's the lead in Baby Reindeer, and Joe from another great series, You, meet and just figure out what would happen if those two met. Because they're both fucking crazy. But also picked up this new strain today, dude. Or actually yesterday, Colombiana, which is a nice hybrid to vibe out with. I've really been enjoying it. It's from Legend. I've never had anything from them, so I don't buy from the dispo a lot. So I just saw it. It was a little sale for an ounce. I picked it up. But, yeah. What about you, bro? What you been leveling up on this week? What you been up to?
Working a lot still.
Working a lot.
Other than that, man, we've been hanging out on Call of Duty a little bit. I haven't really gamed too much this week, actually.
Yeah, I noticed you've been on as much as usual.
Yeah, just kind of, I don't know, just been taking it easy after work, man. I've been pretty stressed. So
you on that rough schedule right now. So
yeah, 2 more days, man. 2 more days.
So you get a little break finally.
Yeah, 3 days off, man. Can't wait. Just got to push through it. I did pick up some distillate from the dispo this week. I got some cherry distillate.
How's that?
It's pretty tasty. I'm probably going to eat some of it on Tuesday instead of dabbing it, so I will let you know.
Eat some of it.
How that turns out, too.
Right. Tuesday, that's your day at your start of your 3 days off or whatever.
Yes, sir. Like that. Yep. Tuesday when I get home, I'll probably eat some of it after I get out of the shower or something. Let it set in.
All right, levelers, it's your turn. Hit us up, highlevelchronicles.com, or through our Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, at HLC Podcast 420. Let us know what you're leveling up on this week. We'll try to get you on next week's episode. Brian, what are the levelers doing out there this week?
This week, let me see here. We got at Jam with John. Says it's been a mix of some Blue Dream while conquering the indie game Outer Wilds. Mind-bending stuff. I can't say I've heard of that one either, actually.
I'm getting a lot of new stuff to check out.
Yes, for sure. Here we go. Leslie P says, this week I've been leveling up on some tasty purple lemonade while revisiting Skyrim in VR. It's like being Dragonborn in real life.
Okay, that's a perfect one for this week. I can see why that one
this week.
Right on.
Let's see one last one here. At One Nut Still Does It 78.
Wait, that one more time.
At what? One Nut Still Does It 78.
All right. It does work. I mean, he's not lying, right? I mean, one nut still works. It still does.
Says this week I've been indulging in some Afghan Kush while navigating the wild mysteries of the classic Return of the Aberdeen.
Isn't that black and white game?
Yes.
That thing's wild. I can't imagine being. And Afghani Kush is a good strain. I like that.
That is a nice strain.
I'll say, man, that's some solid picks.
Yes,
Don't forget, again, hit us up on our socials at HLC Podcast 420. Share what you're leveling up on this week. We absolutely love hearing from you all. And who knows, maybe your comment will get featured on next week's episode. Next week's going to be, I'm so excited for next week's episode, dude. I just can't wait, dude. But now that we're all nice and leveled up, let's strap on our headsets and jump into today's topic. VR gaming. It has been around for a while now, but it really feels like we're just now on the cusp of it, going extraordinarily mainstream. Brian, I'm just going to jump right over to you to kick off this week. what are your thoughts on VR gaming? And have you had experiences with it? What's been your...
So VR gaming it's pretty freaking awesome, man. I remember like I don't remember where it was at. Somewhere out in California, we went to this VR like gaming warehouse, and we were pretty much playing Call of Duty in VR. But you could like run, and you could like duck and dive, and you had to like reload your
Wait, was that
weapons.
like, were you in like one of those things that like you were on like a treadmill type thing and
Yes,
it moved
dude.
with you? I've seen
Yes,
those. I've never experienced anything like
it
that.
was so freaking cool, bro. Like, you ever watched that movie Ready Player One?
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it all the way through because I remember when I tried to, I fell asleep, but I've watched most of it.
I felt like I was in that movie.
Wow.
It was pretty bad, pretty badass.
How long ago was that?
Shit, this was back in 2018.
Okay, so we're talking 6, 7 years ago.
Yep.
So have you done, now I'm talking that type of VR in particular with the full motion, right? The full everything. Have you done anything since then with that?
Yeah, I've played a couple like the Beat Sabers and stuff like that.
No, I mean in that realm of full motion.
No,
have you done it since?
no.
I'm just wondering how far that's come now. You know,
I'm sure it's
6
insane.
years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure
you know
it's
what I'm
insane
saying?
now.
So that's why I was wondering. Yeah, I've done the.
No, I haven't done it any recently. The only thing I've done recently is like the Beat Saber stuff.
I'll tell you, I have the Oculus Quest 2 now, and VR gaming it's a whole nother level.
Yeah,
you know, like you said, it's not just about like controlling a character on screen. You know what I mean? It's like being inside the game itself. It's just not the same. The first time I tried it, I was floored. It was back in 2016. It was the OG Oculus Rift. I think it was the first
Rift,
one.
Yep, the Rift.
And I still vividly remember the mind-blowing just what I experienced. The game I played was called Bullet Train, and it was from Epic Games. And of course, a first-person shooter, and just the mere sense of presence and immersion in a completely like digital space was so wild and unlike anything I'd experienced before. You know, I mean, I've never done this full motion thing. You know, this was right when the Oculus first came out, so you know that gave me a glimpse into the future. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So then you bring in the motion stuff. I mean, it's for sure a game changer. You know what I'm saying? I think my favorite VR experience so far, besides the bullshit, you know, your first experience is always wild, but we have the game Walk the Plank.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Dude, when you have a room full of friends, and especially if everyone's leveled up, it's a fucking amazing time. We even do that roller coaster shit.
Yeah.
It's been funny. We've had friends put the headset on and sit down. You know, we had a chair set up, sit down in a chair, and we have it hooked up to the TV too, so we can see what they're doing.
Right.
One of our friends, she was so fucking trash, dude. She got in the chair, and while she started on the roller coaster, my wife ran and grabbed a spritzer bottle with water, and she has one of those like Chinese fans that flick open, you know, to cool yourself. And she was going through the stuff. She was like, "My God, I can really feel it! Like that's great." Yeah, it was really her. She still never knew that. And of course, we also rock out to Beat Saber. Beat Saber's fun.
Yeah, Beat Saber is a lot of fun.
Beat Saber's a blast.
It's fun. Definitely fun to get leveled up and play that. Have yourself a blast.
Games like Super Hot VR and Beat Saber with their intuitive motion controls and innovative mechanics are a huge part of what makes VR so fresh and exciting, you know, as a medium. I think there's so much design creativity happening thanks to VR's unique capabilities that it's, like you said, since you haven't done that one since 2016, like the full motion, it's only getting better. There's no way it's getting any worse. And the hardware is becoming more accessible. You know, developers are really starting to try to push boundaries with some of these VR games.
Yeah,
Can you imagine how immersive like an open world RPG could be in VR, or experiencing like Dead by Daylight or horror games at a whole nother level? I couldn't imagine.
That'd be so wild, dude.
Dude, if I could play Dead by Daylight in VR, I already get stressed out enough in that game, and I have to keep smoking because of my anxiety, because it's just like, you know, and there's only certain killers that I get stressed out by, like the pig from Saw. She drives me nuts with those. She always puts a thing on her head, but I just can't imagine being in a fully immersed world. But even like that, like, what about a VR like Skyrim or Fallout?
Dude, that'd be so fucking epic.
That'd be incredible. I might be too scared to even make it out of the vault if like a Deathclaw starts charging at me in VR. What about you? Any dream games you'd love to like get the VR treatment? You know what I mean? Like
Cyberpunk. Or like Borderlands. Okay.
Borderlands. I figured you said, but Borderlands
Of
would be
course, man.
fucking
Of course,
wild, dude.
It'd be so much
Borderlands
fun to
would be
play
pretty
that.
cool.
Speaking of that, I know it's a little off topic here, but they're coming out with Borderlands 4. It's in progress right now.
Not off topic, man. We're talking video games.
Should be releasing next year, hopefully. Let's hope.
I so, yeah.
Hopefully following up the movie, you know.
I've also fantasized about VR versions of like Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto.
That'd be cool as shit too.
Like
yeah.
going for a horse ride through the Old West while stoned in the VR. You know what I'm saying? Or like actually engaging in one of those like car chases, police chases through Los Santos while your heart's pounding.
5 stars.
You know what I mean?
Chasing your tanks out there.
It could legitimately feel like an out of body experience. Like no bullshit.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
I mean, it's just wild what could be coming. I mean, you've seen Ready Player One. We were just talking about Ready Player One. It's a clear look to what could be.
What could be.
Or even just a more narrative-driven, like atmospheric games like What Remains of Edith Finch or Firewatch could be amazing showcases for VR's unmatched, sense of immersion. Imagine exploring those mysterious and intricate environments in actual reality, living inside like an interactive movie.
Yeah. They just need to introduce like a sniffer so I can smell the environment too.
Look, I guarantee you that like one of those things you've done with the full movement and motion, I guarantee they have things now that'll give you senses on top of that. You know what I mean? They had to have already started doing that.
That'd be absolutely epic. But on the other side of gaming too, like what has virtual reality done for the world in general?
Well, I mean, it could be applied, like you said, to super practical ways outside of gaming, right? Like for training simulations, right? Yep. Yeah, military, because I can totally see VR being used for military, firefighters, just getting to practice dangerous or deadly scenarios in like a hyper realistic but safe, virtual environment. Hell, they're probably already doing it, like you said. I'm sure they're probably already doing some of this stuff.
Oh, they're doing tons of it already. I think starting in 2020, they started like the military base training for combat in virtual reality simulation so that soldiers can get the real feel for it before going on the battlefield.
Really?
And also for like bomb squads and stuff like that to be able to practice disarming bombs before heading out to the field to do it.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude.
Surgeons are using it for like newer procedures that they haven't done yet so they can practice it before doing it on real people.
Wait, so everything I just said, can you imagine, is already being done? Like I said, it's already being done. I didn't even realize. See, that's how... Man, it's crazy. What about things like architecture and product design? Being able to actually step inside like a 3D model of a building or a vehicle and experience space at like a 1-to-1, ratio type scale. Feels like it could be invaluable for design process feedback from people.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine like, hey, I want to build a new house, right? I want to build this house, but I don't really know what I want it to look like. So you get with a builder, developer, that's planning everything. Put on your VR headset and just start moving through and they show you different builds and then you can walk in, check everything, like, no, I don't like this light fixture now that I can see it, man.
Be able to move walls and add walls.
Can you imagine the upcharges you could charge for people like that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, hey,
we're
building your house, we're building it, but if you really want to see your house before it's built and
we don't just do 3D tours, we do virtual reality tours.
That's going to be an extra $5,000 upcharge, you know what I mean? Or even remote jobs in virtual workspaces. So is that something you could envision, like putting on a headset and suddenly being present in like a virtual corporate office to have meetings and collaborate?
Yet again, they're already doing that.
What? Where is this?
Business partners from across the globe are able to have virtual reality meetings and come up with ideas, design ideas, financial plans and stuff like that, all right there in person already.
Well, see, we do it with like Teams and Zoom and stuff, but I mean, like
they literally have
put on the headset and you're like in that room and you can see their full body. Like that's really futuristic shit.
Yes, sir.
Like that's stuff we saw back in the Jetsons. I think speaking of the Jetsons, did you see that was like the first FaceTime? The Jetsons had the first FaceTime.
Yeah.
I actually think VR workspaces, man, they feel it inevitable. Like you said, they're already starting. It's already doing, but. Although hopefully not as like soul-crushingly depressing as the one in that episode of the Black Mirror show, Striking Vipers.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yep.
We've talked about VR's potential for, the games and the practical applications, but how about like more interpersonal experiences, like virtual dating, intimacy, It's like a whole other can of worms to unpack in the ethic
So it's
and
sorry.
implications.
I was just doing a little bit of looking up for you real quick. So with the business meetings and everything like that, they are now using that on the Apple Vision Pro that came out in 2023.
But, I mean, if you want to pay $3,500,
Yes, but you are able to have business meetings in virtual reality using the said headset.
So is there sex virtual reality too?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
That's what I was saying when you were looking it up, like virtual dating.
I haven't. I
Intimacy.
didn't look into that.
I'm just saying that's like stuff that could happen. You know what I mean?
They can indeed.
But it could also open Pandora's box of issues. You know what I'm saying? If it's not done properly.
Yeah.
I think that's where responsibility becomes crucial.
Indeed.
The VR can bring amazing new possibilities. You know what I'm saying? But also needs to be approached thoughtfully.
It's pretty much the same with all of our technology that is released.
Makes me wonder what the long-term effects could be. Like if we spend...
Have you ever watched that movie, Idiocracy? Please tell me you've watched Idiocracy.
I don't think so. It's not ringing a bell.
You need to go watch that movie.
How old is it?
No date. 2006.
Okay.
2006.
What does that have to do with what is that?
It's a movie that I think is funny because it makes fun of like the future of like the world, but without it, with it now seeming like it might actually be like the future of the world. It's fun. It's a funny movie. It's a comedy, but go watch it. You'll see what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, I have to check it out.
It's a good one.
Saying, if we spend X amount of hours per week, right? Like say virtual reality is one, becoming a lot more prominent. We're using it in business meetings, we're using it in gaming, whatever, building designs. So if we spend X amount of hours per week in these hyper realistic virtual worlds, do you think over time that starts messing with our perception of reality?
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Lots to unpack there. Like it has to, like, it makes
it's definitely going to have an impact.
Like, was it Ready Player One with the big fat guy, the guy, like acting like a little small girl in the game? Was that Ready Player One? Or was that something else? Was that
God, what the fuck was that?
That's what makes me think people would end up doing. Like, I don't know, they just sit and become,
I don't remember what movie that is, but yeah, become whatever you want.
Yeah. Kind of makes it sound like we'll all end up like the brain jack people in the Matrix.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe giving up some realistic reality for an ideal digital plane of existence wouldn't be so bad. As long as the graphics and physics engines hold up, I'm down to live my best virtual life. You know what I'm saying?
Servers crashing every 30 minutes. I got lag.
If VR evolves to a point of being able to sleep, replicate, or even transcend reality itself, the implications would be absolutely mind-blowing. We might have we might be generations away from that pipe dream, but I think it's coming.
You never know, man. You never know.
What else you thinking?
I don't know, man. It's a pretty crazy thing to think about. I mean, technology in general is crazy. Like the advancements that we've made in such short time in technology is it's wild.
So
what does the future hold?
I'm gonna say something. That what you're saying there brings me to, we've been talking about VR for about 20 some minutes now. But either way, I was going to start closing out. But you brought me to a point that I want to say. What you just said, everything happening like is. Have we had this technology all along, and it's just now being released? Is that ancient history? Is that
could be indeed
from thousands and thousands of years ago? I mean, we've been through 5 extinction level events in Earth's history. I mean, it's only a matter of time, right, before we have another one. What I'm saying is, did somebody find something? Did we have it?
Has it always been there?
What I'm getting at with that what you brought up is just that. Could it be ancient stuff? And you know what? We're going to talk about that next week.
Yes, we are.
We are going to talk about that.
Deep dive into that.
We're still in the relatively early stages of consumer grade VR. Apple Vision Pro is probably the newest and greatest.
And latest and greatest, yeah, for sure.
But the future is bright. I'm excited to see where this, crazy new frontier ultimately takes, interactive entertainment and beyond. VR hits that sweet spot of gaming and cannabis when you use it. It just enhances the immersion, the presence of, boundary pushing. It's an exhilarating time to be a fan of both. If you like all that. Even if you like shrooms, anything else. I can imagine taking
Yeah.
a few grams of that. Yeah.
And just
Well,
frolicking through the fucking fields.
you know, whether it's powering world-changing applications or redefining how we entertainment, storytelling, and connection, VR just feels poised to transform our collective reality in mind-bending ways. VR is pushing gaming and other industries into the future, no doubt. We're only scratching the surface right now. So, like I said, I can't wait to see where the technology goes in the years to come. I really hope they bring one of those, full body type VRs around this area somewhere. Where we
Yeah,
are.
that'd be
That'd be
really
cool.
dope.
Maybe we'll all be living in the metaverse soon. For now, though, I'd recommend enjoying VR in the comfort of your living room. Fire up a nice indica, hop into that trippy riff that today's games offers. Just try not to get too immersed. Reality does still exist out here. I'm saying, at least for now.
Touch grass just a little bit.
And on that note, I think it's time to pull off those VR headsets, get back to reality. Thanks as always for joining us on this deep VR dive. From how it started to where it's going. There's still a lot more to be said. Let us know your thoughts on virtual reality, potential impact, dream games you'd love to experience in VR, or any other feedback. HighLevelChronicles.com. We'll hash it all out together next time. Speaking of reality, again, you all don't want to miss next week's episode. We're going to be challenging your perception of reality as we talk ancient history. Maybe you'll learn a new possibility of where we all actually came from. Maybe not, but maybe a different perspective. We have an amazing guest lined up to talk Anunnaki, Sumerians, ancient aliens, the occult, so much more. I'm excited for it. Challenging the perception of everything you may have thought you knew. You know what I'm saying? Even if you think you know everything about history, listen to next week's episode too, because you might learn something new. With that, stay leveled up, everyone. We are out.
Thanks for listening to High Level Chronicles. See you next time.
Thank you again for listening to High Level Chronicles. Please help us grow by leaving us a review wherever you listen to us at, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Alexa. Your reviews will help our show grow and help us reach a broader audience. Also, we are always looking for new show sponsors, so please reach out if you're interested. You can hit us on our social media or email us info@highlevelchronicles.com. Thanks again for listening.